G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to U-Boat with Mags, and welcome to the British coastline. It's the 23rd of May 1941 and it's currently 5 PM and we are heading in to be a little bit sneaky today. So first things first, this is not a continuation of the last patrol that I put up. Unfortunately, a recent update to U-Boat broke that save game. Early access game, shit happens, what can you do about it? So this is my first patrol of a brand new campaign. Now the first part of today's mission was actually pretty straightforward and rather easy. We had to deliver a spy to a waypoint, so we did that. It wasn't particularly difficult, the waypoint was out of the way and there was very little chance of detection, so it was essentially a fetch quest. However, after delivering the spy, we were issued new orders, and that's what we're up to today. Now, as mentioned, we are currently in the English Channel. We are sailing towards Portsmouth. Our objective here is to infiltrate Portsmouth Harbour. There are 5 anti-aircraft guns that are based around the harbour, and we have to locate them with the observation periscope. Now, there's a couple of problems with this. First things first, the entrance to the harbour is only 1 kilometre wide, and the northern edge of the bay is 5 kilometres from the entrance. Now, we've got to travel at least 2 kilometres, 2.5 kilometres, halfway up this distance in order to be able to get into a position where we can clearly see what's going on in the harbour. Now, more than that is down here, there is a submarine net. So, to avoid the submarine net and actually be able to get inside of the harbour, we've got to come directly from the south. But that means we're going to be in line of sight from quite a ways out, and the chances of us getting spotted are significantly higher. Now, of course, we could just fully submerge the submarine, but the distances we'll have to travel will be close to 15 kilometres by the time we get into the harbour, get to the point where we can actually see the guns, turn the boat around, and exit the harbour at a safe distance. We'll run out of air long before we actually do that, so if we submerge too early, we'll have to surface inside of the harbour, which will put us in line of sight and well within range of the primary guns of every single ship docked at that harbour. Now, we could also do this at night time, which would make it easier to remain undetected, but it would also make it far more difficult for us to be able to actually locate the anti-aircraft guns we're looking for. So what I'm doing is timing this up so that we should enter the harbour and be on the observation periscope looking for the anti-aircraft guns while the sun is still up and just in the process of setting. But by the time we've turned the U-boat around and are on our way back out of the harbour, it should be set or in the very last moments of twilight, so we'll be able to surface earlier with a lower chance of detection to get that air we're going to need. So what we're going to do now is set ourselves to decks awash. Now, the reason why we're doing this, we want to drop the visibility of our submarine. It's still too light out and we're about to make the southern approach into the harbour. But at the same time, we don't want to have to rely on our internal air, and we don't want to have to rely on the electric engines. The intake for the electric engines, or the intake for the diesel engines rather, is in the conning tower, and so is the intake for our external air. So providing we keep the conning tower out of the water, we do not have to worry about running on our internal air supplies, and we can keep the diesels running and not have to worry about switching over to batteries. Now, as for the harbour itself, this is why we do not want to get detected. We've got a motor torpedo boat, Flower class corvette, another corvette of undesignated class, an F-class destroyer. Basically, if we were to get caught inside of the probably in total 3, maybe 4 square kilometre area that is the entirety of the harbour with only one exit and we were detected, well, that wouldn't be a good thing. Alright, so we're within maximum sight range of the observation periscope, so at least at this range, if we can find them, we should get confirmation now if we can find them on the anti-aircraft guns once we can get the observation periscope on them. So come on, there we go. And yes, Captain Mags, I have customized my captain. I will eventually customize the rest of the crew if, they survive long enough to be Worth doing that too. Nothing so far. Oh, there we go. There's one. That's the second one. That's the third. And that's off harbour now. So that's 3 of them. And that's the 4th. It's maximum zoom. Where the hell is the 5th gun? I have a sneaking suspicion. Yeah, we can't get any more height. Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be on the far side of the harbour. So I've detected everything on this side, but the last anti-aircraft gun is going to be on the other side. So we're going to have to head in far enough that we can actually get our observation periscope on that side of the harbour. I was sort of hoping we might be able to actually reverse out of here. Be no way known that we cannot find this target. Alright. So that's one of the guns. One up there at the defense station, which makes sense. Ah, there it is. Sitting right there. I nearly scrolled straight past it. Alright, so that's everything. That's 5 for 5. Let's pull this periscope back down so we don't get spotted too early, or preferably at all. And that should be it. Yep, periscope is down and locked down. Beautiful. Okay, so now we have to escape the harbour. And looks like we're just getting onto twilight. But we cannot afford to hang around for much longer because we're down to about 50% on air. Course for the turnaround is plotted. Now, let's get our guy into the listening room. He's rested enough. There we go. Hydrophone's pretty much going to be the only way we have of detecting anything now, so... Alright, let's see if we can just turn it around a little bit faster. Come on. Straight south, between the submarine nets, and let's get the hell out of here. It's the only problem with the U-boats. While they're submerged, their turning circle is something like a battle cruiser's. They take forever to bring themselves about. But hopefully, by the time we're back at the harbour mouth, the sun will be down, so we'll be able to surface a little bit earlier than we submerged without being detected and start picking up some air, and then we can go to flank speed on the diesels, or at the very least get ourselves to decks awash so we can get access to an external air supply. It's all tense now. I've got the mission objectives, I've got the locations, I can radio them off, but I've got to do it from the surface, and if I'm detected at that range, I'm knackered. The game does really need a better time acceleration feature. I mean, I should be able to cleanly accelerate out to about 4 times to 8 times speed, with no issues whatsoever. I should have a couple of different speed options instead of just this one setting it 2 times. Air is getting real bad at the moment, but it looks like we have managed. I'm sure that was a crew member bitching about the quality of the air. In fact, I'm almost positive that was a crew member bitching about the quality of the air. I know, I'm working on it. Almost at the mouth. Straight out into the channel so we can get the hell out of here. 19%, 16 minutes in game, real time. And we are almost out of time submerged. 16%. Come on, I just want to make the turning point. We can do it. That'll be far enough away that most of the harbour mouth should actually be covering our location, and at night time we should not be spotted. There we go. Okay. So it looks dark enough at the moment. Let's fully surface the boat. I'm going to want that extra speed to get back underway. You can get off the attack periscope and get back into the officer's bunk, have a rest, you're knackered. In fact, we should probably put, and that's not what I wanted to hit, most of our active crew back to bed. And he's already going to bed. You're at 50%, you're in bed, you're okay at about 50%. Captain, you need to get into your quarters and have a sleep. Which is funny because my captain is named Mags, so I'm just sending myself to bed. And there we go. We're on the surface and we're starting to intake oxygen and refill the tanks. Or at least refill the air quality inside of the submarine. We don't have anything in the tanks. I'm going to go and fire up the engines. Or the diesel. Where is it? There it is. Diesel compressor to get those fired up. We'll do that now. Beautiful. That'll get everything all pumped back up again. So the trip home from Portsmouth was perfectly fine. We only had one encounter on the way back, and it was an Allied submarine that was heading in the opposite direction, so that was not a problem at all. No hostile encounters the entire way out, which is a good thing because I didn't actually realize it at the start of this mission, but I did not stock up on a particularly large amount of food before I left. I wasn't expecting to be away quite as long as I was, and I was actually on the verge of running out of food and supplies for the crew as I made it back to home base. Thankfully, with 2 missions successfully completed and our first patrol wrapped up, I should now have enough renown to make sure that the ship is fully stocked for all future missions with no problems whatsoever. So anyways, that's how you infiltrate a port with a U-boat. Very, very carefully. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching. As always, remember to check the video description down below for links to all of my social media, my Twitch, my Discord, my Patreon and my Subscribestar if you'd like to help support the channel, and on this end card right now you should be seeing a link to my Teespring store if you'd like to check out any of my merchandise. And as always, remember to click that like button if you did, share and subscribe if you would like to see more, and until next time, dive smart, dive safe, and I'll catch you in the depths.